Hi everyone, welcome to today's question. Excited to answer this one. I don't know how long this video will be. So why won't my organisation listen to me when I tell them that they need to hire learning designers to help with our courses? They expect me to do it all. Now, of course, I don't know the position that this person is in, but obviously they are in some kind of organisation that has training as their core business. Potentially they are an administrator or a facilitator or somebody in the past who has helped run live courses and now they're being asked to put stuff online, which is very, very common. A little shout out to those people who have been pushed into a different career without their, consciousness. Just happened because that's where they were and that was what the need is. So let's have a dive into this, because I think the best way to explain my answer to this question is to look at this model, and this is what I've based our company off of, and the way in which we structure our resourcing and the way we speak to clients about our projects, so that we can actually answer that question within that discovery call phase, which is to say that actually when we build an online course, it is actually a multidisciplinary team, and that means that there are people coming into that production with very, very unique skills. And that does not mean you can't have somebody who has lots of those skills. So if you look at that center of this Venn diagram, they are what we would call in our company OPEDA unicorns. So unicorns for us are people who are really, really good with educational technology. They're really good at jumping into subject matter, depending on whether it's not too technical, and they're also great learning designers. All right. Generally speaking, agencies like mine will only work when there is a subject matter expert and we do the rest. And so for answering the question, what you can do if you're in the situation where somebody's saying to you, oh, you can just build all the courses. You can say to them, well, actually, I'm going to play this role in building the courses, but I need to go and outsource these other roles, okay? And these other roles are the learning designers and then the technologists or project management, because project management is a huge part of this. And I actually have another diagram which I couldn't find, but I would actually dot inside of here all the other people that work in and around it. And that is your videographers, your editors, your graphic designers. All of those people are inside of that project and they're kind of jumping in and supporting. And if you are in a situation where you've been tasked with the whole lot, this diagram is a great way to show why you can't do the whole lot, especially if this is not the only thing you're doing. Okay, that's the key thing. Always people underestimate the complexity of building an online course. I don't know where it came from, but it feels like people think it's okay, I'll just turn the webcam on and just talk and teach like I would in the classroom, and then I'll just put it online. And that has been the attitude in lots of organizations, that it's just that easy. Oh, you used to do it face to face, so just do what you did there, right? And so the entire reason why I built my company was to say, hey, hang on, if we keep doing that, we're going to disengage learners and we're not going to have any of the outcomes in which we've promised, because it actually is a new design process. So there is a little video also on L&D careers which actually talk about the T and V. I just did the wrong hand actions, T and V. So, and that's a way to also think about where you want to be in this process. So if you are in an organization where you think you want to stay in the course development space, have a watch of that video and have a think about which category you fit into. If you're a T, then you are more likely to try and get your way into becoming a unicorn over time, but you don't start out that way, because you've got to get that experience in the technology and you've got to understand what learning designers do, etc., regardless of your background. Even if you're a teacher, right? The learning design is based on education and good pedagogy, but it's still not the same. So there's different vocabulary, and my channel has a lot on that for you if you're watching. But really think about where you want to be, and then use that skills conversation and superpowers conversation to say to your boss or whoever it is trying to get you to do everything, hey, we're going to get a better, quicker product if we do X, Y, and Z, and we're going to need to outsource this. I need a graphic designer, right? You need to give me a freelance graphic designer. You need to give me a budget for this. That's where the conversation goes. Now, to budget, this is the tricky part for this person who asked me this question. Building quality and sustainable online education offerings. I built this video. I think this video is nearly 3 years old. It's on the OPEDA channel. It's not even on my personal YouTube. So I will drop all these in the description below, but have a little listen, because what I did this video for a particular client who wanted to promote, I guess, our philosophy to course development to their users. And so I made it as a standalone asset so I could reuse it, but it was really based upon this particular conversation I was having with a possible partner and client. And they asked me, and they said, well, what is it that makes these things sustainable? And the key thing is that it's really tricky in online, especially since quality became more of a conversation. When there was not many players in online, you could get away with just selling some PowerPoints and calling an online course. Believe it or not, some people are still trying to do that, but I'm begging the consumers to figure that out. But anyway, that's another video. So what I talk about in this video is the necessity for online course development to have a lot of its investment up front. And so that puts a lot of pressure on people's business models and business cases. So if you're in an organization and you're like, I can't do this, and they're like, well, too bad, you have to, because we need this course out and we have no budget to do it. They're kind of right, and you're right, and they're right. And in a lot of the times, if people don't understand product market fit, haven't done their research, don't have the confidence in their sales and marketing team to sell that course, they are taking a lot of risk investing up front, because everything in an online development comes in the upfront stage. So instead of costs occurring as it's being delivered, as demand is coming in, you have to stack it up the front. And I talk about it in this video. And so that might make you, if you're that person in the organization who's feeling that pressure and you're getting no, then good idea to have a think about and break it down for them and into what could be done now. What's a phase 1 approach to our online development? What's a phase 2 and what's a phase 3? Because remembering that the revenue is going to come in those particular phases. The other thing that you can do, which I've done before, is actually make the business case for the administration savings down the track. So it's saying, okay, if we build really well here and we build our standalone assets to a high quality and we make sure our user experience is fantastic and we get learning designers in to make sure our information is displayed, we're going to have less questions to our administrators. We're going to have less problems with the tech. I love it when it does this. I don't know why. We're going to have less burden on our team down the track because we've done it right from the beginning. And so you can start to make that business case. Anyway, if that is you, let us know. Drop me a follow-on question down below and I will pick it up for one of the Q&As. Or drop me a story that you've had or how you've actually managed to convince somebody that yes, they do need to hire some learning designers who are specialists in this, or hey, train you in it. But we'd love to hear from you. And thank you very much for watching. And until next time, stay awesome.